Alright, I think we're just gonna hop into it. After all, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be able to play this is. Hi y'all. Hope everyone's having a good week. I hope everyone's doing well. It is very cold out there. If it is very cold where you are, I hope you are staying warm. Because, oh my goodness, there was just so much of the cold and the snow these last 2 days. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm good with the cold. But it is in fact cold. Cannot change that. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I lost track of it. But we're here. We're back. We're still in the past. We're still 7 years ago. We're still figuring out what's going on with the murder that happened here. Actually, yeah, that's true. Now that I think about it, I still don't know who did it. I still don't know what happened. Like, normally at a certain point, you're like, okay, I figured it out, even before all the characters have, and before we have all the evidence, but I'm just kind of like, I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. We know it's not Gumshoe, though. I feel like I did have an answer. I feel like I did know who it was. And now I don't remember what, because it's been a week, and after a full week, my brain just tosses stuff in the trash. We're here with little baby Kay, and little baby Francisca, and not so little baby Gumshoe and Judge. I think we were gonna talk to her. Oh no, then Kay. She's like a stray cat. I wonder if I should feed her something.
Take that!
Kind of baby. Babier than we're used to, but only by 7 years, which for him isn't a lot. Also, hi.
Sacrifice the biscuit.
I don't want to sacrifice Biscuit. Biscuit, I love you. I don't want to sacrifice you. Hi, Fluffy. Hi, Kayla. Okay, I promise to give this to you if you calm down. Oh, a Swiss roll. It really belongs to you, though, doesn't it? Yeah, I was saving it for Daddy. Oh my. Your father, he's... don't you say it! No, hold on. That's right, hold on. Don't you say another word, pal! She doesn't know yet! Thanks for watching out for me, Gummy. But I already know about Daddy. I overheard the guards talking. About how Daddy's... he's not here anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't protect him. Okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna... It's alright. Let it all out. Your father just passed away after all.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
I myself was also involved in a case at this courthouse when I was a young child. A case in which my father, who was a defense attorney, passed away. All of my dreams of becoming a lawyer were crushed in fine ash on that nightmarish day. Even now, the wound festers deep in the depths of my soul. And then 7 years, no, like 5 years from now, it gets solved. But 7 years later, he still has the wound in his soul.
I'm just a baby.
Oh my goodness! Holy shit, is that Jeff? Is that a Jeff the Landshark sticker? Oh my god, I love it! That's the most adorable thing I've ever fucking seen. Oh my god, that's cute. Oh my god, I love it. Fuck yes, let's go. I need to play more Jeff. I need to play as Jeff more. But I enjoy Rocket too much. Ever since that incident, I've dedicated myself to locking away every criminal I can. Please get this off of my face. Have you ever gotten gum in your hair? When I was a kid, I don't remember who it was, but someone legitimately put gum in my hair when I was a kid. It sucked. It was not fun. Tea's still hot. And now, to have this happen right in front of me. This child, I feel a certain shared fate, a common bond between us. Miles Edgeworth? Oh, what sort of gentleman are you? Are you going to just stand there and watch a lady cry? No, you're alright. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, how about we use this handkerchief here and dry your little eyes? My cravat! I'll blow your nose on that! I feel better now. Thanks. She's a little monster, and I kinda love it. Okay, are you going to be alright? Yep, I'm already alright. Somehow I highly doubt that, but I'm not going to push it. I promised Daddy I'd never cry in front of strangers. And you're a good kid, aren't you, Kay? You always keep your promises, right? That's right. Even if I can't see Daddy anymore, I'm still going to keep all my promises. You're a very brave girl, Kay. You're a very good child for keeping the promises you made to your papa. I'll even testify that you didn't cry just for you. I'll lie to the court, I don't care how much perjury I commit. Thank you very much, lady. It's nothing. I'm only telling the truth, after all. It would appear that because your father was a respected prosecutor, Francisca is sympathetic to Kay's feelings. Okay, what kind of person was your father? Daddy was a hero of justice. His job, like idealized father, like daughter. Is that better? Like the father you think he was, like daughter. His job was to catch all the bad people in the world. So to you, a prosecutor is a hero of justice, hmm? I suppose we are in a sense, as we are the ones who seek guilty verdicts for criminals. Plus, you know what? Whenever I came to the courthouse, Daddy would buy me my absolutely favorite treat, Swiss rolls. Swiss rolls are very good. They are indeed. But like, they're a little bit, well, actually they're very similar to the ones that they're having there, but I'm thinking like the Little Debbie, the ones that are longer. They're so good. They're so good. They're relatively expensive for what they are. They're so good though. Oh, I want to be a hero of justice someday, just like Daddy. So I've been working really hard.
I see. And what have you been working hard on?
I've been working hard to keep all the promises Daddy and I made together.
A promise notebook. May I take a look inside, Kay?
Sure, okay.
It appears to be an exchange diary of sorts between father and daughter. Mr. Faraday's writing conveys a sense of the kind of man he was. This little notebook just might come in handy later. Thank you for showing it to me, Kay. I hope you'll continue to work hard and become a hero just like your father.
Cut to 7 years in the future when she's a great, noble thief. Promise 1, never take things from a stranger. Great thief. Promise 2, never go anywhere with a stranger. Okay, well... Technically, she knew Edgeworth, so I don't know if that counts. Always greet people with a smile, even people you don't know. I do like that one. Never cry in front of strangers. Always try your hardest to learn about things you don't understand. That's a very good promise. Daddy's job is to make sure that everyone follows the rules. Okay? Be a good girl and promise that you'll keep your promises to me, okay? Love, your Daddy. Aww. I'm gonna try. Hey, Kay! So, I'm a detective that catches the bad people, right? That makes me a hero, too! Yeah, you're really cool, too, Gummy. Yeah, aren't I, Kay?
What is it with the two of them? I hand down verdicts of justice, so that makes me a hero, too.
Yes, and thanks to your oh-so-heroic testimony, you almost painted that detective as a vile criminal and sent him off to jail.
I'm really sorry about that.
I mean, he's not a bad man, okay?
That poor judge. He's being treated like a vile criminal rather than a hero of justice. It appears that you and Detective Gumshoe are good friends, Kay.
Yeah, we're friends.
In that case, would you mind telling me a little bit more about him? So I take it that you ran into Detective Gumshoe earlier?
Yep. I was on my way to see Daddy when I saw Gummy standing there. He was standing in the hallway staring really hard at the vending machine, so I said hi.
And when was this?
Huh? Oh, before everything got crazy.
How long were the two of you together?
We only talked for a little while, and then we went on our own ways. That's right, pal! Kim and I only talked for a little while, and that's it!
Oh, which means we have now confirmed that Kay was in the hallway during the recess, isn't that right?
Look at me. I told you to stop picking on Gummy, mister.
Very well, then. I'll just have to speak with the good detective in private later. Oh, were you the one who bought this pack of Swiss rolls, Kay?
Well, I didn't really have a lot of money, and I somehow made $1 out of all the pennies and quarters I had. But that still wasn't enough, and I really, really wanted one.
Come to think of it, she did come and ask me to exchange a handful of change for $1. No, that's when you came and asked me to change your money, correct?
Yeah, thanks a bunch for doing that, mister.
Sure. But let me ask you, even with that dollar, you still didn't have enough, correct?
Well, that's why... Hey! If you bully Kay anymore, I'm gonna have to arrest you, pal!
Need I remind you that you're the one already under arrest?
Yow!
I sense that Kay is going to be less than forthcoming with this question.
Sorry about your roughly thing.
Yes, well, now that's positively drenched in your nasal mucus. Don't worry, Kay. I have a spare. So here, you can have this one.
But Daddy said, never take things from a stranger.
It's one of the promises you made in your promise notebook, correct?
Yeah, look, see? It's right here on this page.
Alright then, I'm not giving this to you. I'm merely allowing you to borrow it. You can take it home, wash it nice and clean, and then give it back to me next time we meet.
Okay. Daddy never said I couldn't borrow things from strangers. You know what? That sounds like a good, way to get around the whole thief thing. It's like, I'm just borrowing the super secret, super safe information that needs to, and then I'm go public with it. That's returning the information technically, yes, right?
Now then, Detective Gumshoe.
Uh-oh.
I believe it is now crystal clear that you were with the little K in that hallway.
I told you to stop being mean to Gummy.
Miles Edgeworth, there is still something you have yet to resolve. I beg your pardon. You still haven't offered an explanation for why that man would lie to us. Well...
Gummy, don't tell me you lied for my sake. Hey, don't worry about it, Kay. Everything's gonna be okay.
Ah, so that's why.
So what was Detective Gumshoe's motive for lying?
If you can't explain that, then you can't call this a perfect investigation. His reason for lying is very simple.
What?
Here's what I believe to be his reason. From simple observation of the detective's actions and his interactions with Kay, it's obvious the detective was lying for the young girl's sake. And this piece of evidence will show you exactly why.
Wait. This one? The balloon? Exactly. Information is one of those things that you can't fully take from someone unless you, like, take it out of their brain, or it's, like, a physical thing that... It's like a book. I guess technically you can steal a book. Like, just taking information, perfectly legal, because they still have it. Anyways. I mean, on account? I mean, there's this one. I don't know if that's on account of. You had the gunshot right before the trial was to start again.
Take that!
I don't think this is.
What are you showing me that for? It doesn't seem to add anything to the conversation.
I don't get what you're trying to say with that. Or do you just like showing it off? Are you gonna give that to me, mister?
I don't feel that the court needs to enter that into the court record at this time. What is wrong with everyone? Why are they all teasing me all of a sudden? Although, it's possible that I made a little mistake, and that's why.
Why with a baguette? Wait, question. Is it a fresh baguette? Or is it one that's, you know, been left out and now has the durability of a Nokia phone?
Shows the reason why.
Which piece of evidence proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of Kay? Oh, that he was lying. Okay. Stale? Ooh. That he was lying. Proves that Detective Gumshoe was lying on account of.
Take that!
See, now I'm thinking about the toasted sandwiches we make at work now that I have that everyone says are really good, but I haven't tried them yet because I'm like, what would be the goddamn point? I can't taste them! One day it'll be back. Was it this one? Because she took something from a stranger and went somewhere with it? Trying to figure out what the game wants for me. What does the game want for me?
Take that!
Mr. Faraday in Kay's Promise Notebook? How does this explain anything? If you could take a look at this page, it's clearly written that Kay should never take things from a stranger. When Detective Gumshoe heard about that promise, he tried to cover for Kay. What a foolish fool of a foolish reason for a fool! Youch! Mommy, you lied because of me, didn't you? Because I'm your friend, Kay! That's why! Gummy. At long last, Detective Gumshoe, can you please tell me the whole truth now? Because there's no beating you, huh, pal? Okay, I'll spill the goods! I'd been standing guard for a while. I was getting really hungry, and that stack vending machine was taunting me. Yes. Change fool with Francisca. Changed fool with what was word? Don't remember. Have seen. Also, no pronouns. Yes, imbecile. Very funny. Very good. But all Cash had was $5, and that wasn't enough to buy anything, right? After all, cheapest item in machine is $6 pack of Swiss rolls. Yeah, but then, like angel from heaven, Kay showed up. Baby Kay was thinking about sharing snack with Daddy, so Kay wanted to buy Swiss roll. But Kay only had dollar in coins. So, Gumshoe and Kay pulled $5 and $1 together, bought a pack of Swiss rolls. But Kay was worried about breaking one of Kay's promises. So Gummy said, Mr. Faraday's scary when Faraday gets mad. Don't worry, Kay won't get in trouble if Gumshoe doesn't tell, right? Besides, Kay bought with Gumshoe. So Kay didn't really get from Gumshoe. Hey, no? Hard. Words hard. Why words hard? Gummy told Kay, be okay. And Gummy gave Kay whole roll, save, and gift to Daddy. That Scruffy could be so considerate. Indeed. Detective, Edgeworth takes it that Gumshoe sat down on bench and ate rolls with Kay. Yeah, Gumshoe and Kay split other roll and ate roll right then. Sweet taste of Kay's chocolate. Gumshoe will never forget as long as Gumshoe lived. Anyway, Kay, Edgeworth believes piece of rubber also belongs to Kay. Oh, that's from Balloon K-Pot. Bad manners leave garbage lying around, Kay. Kay, sorry. Well, Francisco guesses Von Karma can't blame Kay not throwing this one piece away.
was sitting up on a windowsill where Kay couldn't see. So just this once, Francisca forgives Kay. A balloon Kay wanted surprise Gummy, so Kay popped on purpose. And because of Kay, Gummy dropped Gummy's half of Swiss roll. Wow, Kay really got Gummy there! So Kay thought maybe Kay give Gummy other roll. And then Kay saw Edgeworth picking on Gummy. So Kay kicked Edgeworth. Okay, sure is a feisty one. Kay's really sorry. Alright. Edgeworth is perfectly unharmed. Currently, now. After a week has passed. What about Swiss roll? Would be alright with Kay if Edgeworth held on to until Detective Gumshoe was cleared of all charges and free to go. Yeah, sure. Likely booty also look like nards is where Kay kicked. Just make sure Edgeworth give to Gummy afterwards, okay? Hello, Gary. Of course, Edgeworth promises. I know that Edgeworth believes Edgeworth has proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that Detective Gumshoe was in hallway for the entire duration of Gumshoe's duty. Oh, thank God the timer's up. Holy shit. There was a lot of pronouns in those sentences. There were so many. It just kept going and going and going. Which undeniably proves that Detective Gumshoe could not have committed the double murders.
Objection!
Actually, it proves just the opposite, Edgeworth. You've just shown that Detective Gumshoe is the only one who could have committed the crime. What do you mean? It's quite rude to eavesdrop, Miss Yule. I'm getting lectured on manners by a girl with a penchant for whipping people. What? How dare you talk back with such insolence? You're wrong, lady. Gummy's not the bad guy. Oh, and what have we here? What's a child doing here in the courthouse? Bailiff, please take this child away. Oh, Miss Callisto, you, that girl of Mr. Faraday's... I know. So what? You think that just because she's the victim's daughter, she gets to just run wild all around the crime scene? I think it's actually quite dangerous for her, to speak nothing of getting underfoot. And I suppose you're right. However, as long as we're in agreement on that point, let's get back to the real issue at hand. Now then, Detective, you were in front of the door to lobby number 2 the entire time, correct? Yeah, but... You see, isn't it obvious that could only be the detective? He's the only person who could have gone into lobby number 2 at the time of the murders. I have no counter-argument to that. I don't have a counter-argument for this. Yet. But I will. Don't worry, I've already put in the necessary paperwork for his formal arrest. But the investigation is far from over. Oh, that's right. I was going to speak with you about that. Oh my god, that's loud. Why is it so loud? Hello? Nope. You gotta... Too loud. That's never been that loud before. What happened? Did all the audio stuff get reset? Oh my god, that was loud. Did it get reset? Fluffy, why? You're trying to hurt me. I thought for damn sure I turned that down. That RIP headphone users, myself included. That one's much better. That one's much quieter. Does it sound better? No. Is it quieter? Yes.
Fluffy has just decided that it's sound alert time. Thank you for all the bits. Yes, I thought I turned it down. Get down. So funny. Don't you think it's reckless to talk to the suspect out in the open without a guard? I suppose it is. Well, someone with more experience in law than you, allow me to share something. Always keep a good eye on a criminal, or you may regret if it comes to your negligence. I can't believe you're letting this woman lecture you like this. This is unforgivable as a disciple of Von Karma. Down, Tigress. Now then, I'll be looking forward to the results of your investigation. So, we're back to square one.
Actually, this is our last chance. I can tell that if we fail to solve this case, Detective Gumshoe will be formally charged under all the circumstantial evidence.
The timer is up. We done did it. We good. I can say pronouns. But also, you're right. The pronoun ban is in place. You can't say the word I because it sounds like I probably. I don't know how that works. That's a good question. How semantic do I feel like being?
This investigation is not over yet. There's still one location we have yet to inspect. It's where Detective Bad and Miss Yu were at the time of the crime. Lobby number 1.
To be continued in like 2 seconds. After we save. Oh my god, this is a long chapter. September 10th, 5:45 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers.
Uncle Bad, is this it?
Is that Detective Bad and Kay over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it.
Aw, too bad. But it's so pretty.
I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it.
Thanks. I'll treasure it always.
Lucy seemed to get along rather well. Oh, here. I've got something else for you.
It is kind of interesting, isn't it? Yay! Thank you, Uncle Bat. Wait, earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy.
Gummy. Ah, you mean Gumshoe.
Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me. I thought I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy.
Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying.
I'm not crying.
Okay.
Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too.
Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do.
Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation.
Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess.
What? You were just scolding us like kids to not mess up the crime scene, and I let this child run free. Why?
People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that?
Ugh.
I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu was looking into.
Uncle Bad, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay?
Alright, I'm counting on you.
Oh, that's right. Hey, mister.
Yes, what is it?
I know Gummy really isn't the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? Who wants to take a guess as Detective Bad, who is bad? And or, it's either Detective Bad or it's this motherfucker right here. Manny Cochin, who was the suspect of the last time this happened. It might actually be Manny Cochin. It's one of these two. I don't know which one, but it's one of these two.
I want to forgive whoever did this, but in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering.
Do you think it was you? You think it was me? You think it was her? Was the older sister of CCU of the KG-8 incident? I don't know. That doesn't necessarily make sense to me. I don't know why she would. What if it is Gumshoe? Well, then I guess Yu was in prison and somehow became a detective again sometime in the next 5 years.
This expensive painting is ill-suited to be hanging on the wall of this room. I wonder if a guard detail should be placed on it. Why do you say that?
Well, a desperate, low-paid detective might make off with it someday. You never know.
She may be thinking about hiring a guard, but it's obvious she isn't factoring in that guard's salary whatsoever.
Should we? I want to take it down and see if there's a hole in the wall.
One of the windows in this lobby is open as well. The air conditioner is working just fine in this room, so why do they open it, I wonder? This decorative plant's leaves are shinier than the ones on the plants in lobby number 2.
That's probably because it's next to the windows, where it's easier to photosynthesize.
You may be right, plus the curtains are always drawn in lobby number 2.
The caretakers of this courthouse don't think enough about their plants, do they?
That's because they're the courthouse's caretakers, not a bunch of botanists. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for?
Nothing that concerns you, boy.
Oh, and I suppose that has something to do with Kay?
It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste.
It sounds like you'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again.
I don't have anything to say to you.
I mean, that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate.
Is that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window. And that smell's still here.
Perfume, huh? The sweet scent in the air is perfume.
Well, it's giving off quite a stench. How about some cheap, no-name brand?
She said it's a famous brand from overseas.
It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff.
No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it.
I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail.
Why can't she even be honest about her wants? So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic.
Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating.
Hold on. Same perfume as the one spilled in lobby number 1? Aren't we currently... Wait. What one are we currently in? Are we currently in lobby number 1 or lobby number 2? I don't remember anymore.
Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. So you were in this room the entire recess.
Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here.
Okay, my guess is... my guess is absolutely that those two people were dead before Gumshoe ever stepped foot in this building. Like, straight up.
At least your story is consistent. Earlier, you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu.
Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here.
Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations.
Guess I am.
Interesting. Speaking of that liar, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Let's see. Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG-8 incident. And, as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on the case. I wonder the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to Garcisi, but because you were the lead detective on the case.
You knew?
I also know that today's trial involving the Cadopian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG-8 incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me, and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday, and the KG-8 incident.
If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG-8 incident.
What do you mean that that's a lollipop? Wait. What do you mean it's a lollipop? But, I mean... See, he wasn't stunned there because he's about to tell him the truth. He's stunned because, wait a second, that was a lollipop? I thought that was an unlit cigarette or a toothpick this whole time.
Faraday, you and I, as you already know, we three were involved with the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring.
You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Mono Group's secretaries?
That trial was just a front.
A facade?
Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed.
That's really funny. Him pausing or not because he's thinking or whatever. He's just sucking on the sucker. Then how many suckers must he have then? Because we've been watching him for a long time. It's like, are you like on your 5th sucker today? Or are you just very slow with him?
Then what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin DeVore. Don't worry, that'll come up again in 7 years, even though you'll kind of forget this whole conversation. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring, but he confessed to knowing about it anyway. DeVore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat.
The boss man of the Amano Group? You can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. That's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him.
That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, CC, I was supposed to protect them both.
Miss Yu did mention that as well, about how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister.
But even I, who was supposed to protect them, I fell into their trap.
What kind of a trap?
The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap.
You mean you were fired upon? You were shot at that many times in one gunfight?
No, only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident.
I see.
I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu.
Was that the name that we have? Oh, yeah.
About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yeah. Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face.
Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough.
I suppose not. She said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again.
But after that, you sent him many times over, correct?
Yeah. Faraday and I, even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. You cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them. Yeah. You was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright. And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. Because you're not supposed... Again, the job of a defense attorney is not to cover up for someone. It's to be their fair advocate. It's so that there's someone on their side that actually knows the law and is helping them on their side. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. How being a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of Von Karma? Just like you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. Give it 5 years, Edgeworth. You'll meet an old friend / future boyfriend husband. Don't you worry, I'm making a prediction. It only has a 99% chance of coming true. And he's gonna show you the error of your ways. And you, Francisca, give it about 6 years, you'll learn the same lesson. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. I can talk good. I know how words. Don't worry, though. If you hear any words said wrong in my speech, that's just because of the sucker that I'm sucking on. It's real tasty. It's real distracting. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Otagarasu case. Did we touch a nerve? That is kind of what I accidentally said. I did accidentally say quack. We quacked all over the place. You did what now? You know, sometimes we would crack cases and go to the park afterwards and do that. We do that, except that's more of a honk. We would quack, quack, quack. You know, we'd go over to the park, we just watch the pond, we go quack, quack. I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. I sense there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Otagarasu is what's necessary. You claim to know much about the Otagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now.
Roll out!
What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Otagarasu. What? The KG-8 incident and the second KG-8 incident
Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring, and in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there's one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yotagarasu. Mr. Bell claimed to be the Yotagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yotagarasu. And then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yotagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rell's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yotagarasu.
If it will help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yotagarasu.
What was that sudden outburst for? You always made me whip you by accident.
Ugh! It's still accidentally whipped me anyway.
There are three main reasons why the Yotagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yotagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yotagarasu also always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yotagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind. Ever.
I see. So those are the Yotagarazu's special traits. It sounds like an incredibly elusive thief.
The Yotagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as the lowbrows commit murder. That's how I knew that Rell wasn't the real Yotagarasu right away.
But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't.
Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yotagarasu.
Yotagarasu sent the evidence?
Until now, the Yotagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about.
In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yotagarasu who sent it?
That's easy. A special card that only the Yotagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure.
And what sort of card is it?
Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yotagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rell about what was sent along with the white card, Rell had no idea what it was.
Oh, and that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rell was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yotagarasu now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes?
His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you, so if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir.
Understood. I'll be there shortly.
Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you?
Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive.
I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty.
September 10th, District Court, courtroom number 3.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, it appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. Oh, I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony.
Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict.
Francisca, there's no need to further depress His Honor.
But I'm not trying to, Miles.
Your Honor, Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence? Your Honor! Oh! Yes, can I help you?
I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job?
Yes, I'm sorry, and I would, except that the defense attorney has yet to arrive.
She is busy with the investigation.
So let's keep this brief, shall we?
Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into the case.
Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding the case, and maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth.
I've placed all of the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you.
I see. Thank you very much. I'll go and confirm that they are all accounted for. So this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial for Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Agreed. I'm going to take a good look at all the evidence from the embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Gah! Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also real to see the knife up close. So, we have the knife, the gun, an envelope. And what's this organizer doing here?
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you.
About what, Your Honor?
They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside the evidence bag of his. Detective Bagged requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation.
Detective Bad said that. It's very small. Like, it could potentially still kill you if it hits you right. It would have to hit you very right. But it is small. What a strange stroke of luck. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Might as well flip through it, too. I won't rest until I've inspected every I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, why I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rell was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I'd imagined. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The Cadopian Embassy security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance video of the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You could clearly identify Mr. Rell on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life.
Me neither, and yet it's happened before and it shall happen again! Don't you worry.
This gun, it was originally used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rell still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? And it's never crossed your mind that you use your riding crop for the wrong purpose? My riding crop is not art. It is a tool. A very beautiful tool. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. It looks like he wrote a strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I've collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one. But it appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rell was the killer in the case. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rell is not the real Yatagarasu. Then it would also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rell was not the Yatagarasu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. And he apparently also had a very definitive piece of evidence. It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have made about about being the real Yotagarossu.
And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the Embassy murder.
His organizers is clues straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll take my time and give it a thorough read later.
Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here.
It appears to be a key, and a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design of the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yotagarossu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Yotagarossu's key? Detective Bad said something earlier.
I love that we had just listened to this. Like, we just did this, like, what, 10 minutes ago? We had this conversation very recently. Half an hour at most.
Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. As a prosecutor on both the Yotagarossu and smuggling green cases, that's to be expected. That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Cadopian Embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from?
Isn't it obvious? It was brought to the courthouse by Mr. Rell.
That's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Yes, even there. What about yes, there too? And yes... Just anything you can imagine, just say the answer is yes and we'll move on. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as that inside.
In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse?
I need to think carefully here. There is nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today.
Hold on, one more thing. The surveillance tape? It was played earlier? I don't know where it is, though. Or the key itself?
So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence.
Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me?
Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca.
What? Then what is it?
One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own.
This is the key! No, this wouldn't be the key. That doesn't sound right. It's just a regular fountain pen. No, well, actually, it still could be.
This looks like a quality nib.
Well, my ballpoint pen is much easier to write with.
You're obviously still too young to appreciate the finer points of a fountain pen.
Don't treat me like a child.
I wouldn't have to if you would only grow up.
Don't worry, she'll never leave her whipping phase. To your chagrin and to the joy of masochistic lesbians everywhere. Yeah, no, not the key. Never mind. Wait. Wait a second. Hold the phone? Hold the goddamn phone? Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see it? Do you understand what I'm thinking? You get it? Not that. This? And this? Look at their handles. Look at their handles. Look at their handles. Look at their handles. It's the knife is the key! Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha!
And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse.
Take that!
This Yotogarazu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in an organizer. And this is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Francisca, to see what I mean. Don't the color and the ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yotogarazu's key in this photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yotogarazu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say... It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are, in fact, one and the same. But that's impossible. Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail.
Wait, you've been doing what now? You've been typing all of your chat replies to me in Discord? Oh, in your personal Discord with you? That's really funny. Rip. Huh. Wait. It's different. Oh, it must just rotate. Because there's the key, I see it. Oh my god. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I expected it to be like a switchblade situation where it would rotate. I wasn't expecting the handle to break apart and come back together. Were y'all expecting the hinge handle? Because I was expecting a rotate, like, you know, a normal ass fucking switchblade. That is true. The nose is the one place they don't... Here's the thing. Well, until a week from today, I'm not going to be able to... I can't fit anything up my nose. There's no room. That shit's all filled to the brim. Anyways, you can hear it. I can't believe it turned into a key. To think there was such a trick to this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yotogarazu stole. Okay, Kayla, here's what I want you... Here's the thing. Hi, Maya, how you doing? Ooh, ooh. Posture and hydrate. I need you not to delete any of those and tell me how June responds before you tell her what happened and why you were saying that. Hi, Maya. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yotogarazu stole. This piece of evidence is more critical than anything we've learned up till now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was holding a knife blade inside. Aww. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday, meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yotogarazu. Then maybe Mr. Rail really was the Yotogarazu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rail was not the Yotogarazu. Besides, as Detective Bat said earlier, blah blah blah, stuff we saw earlier. I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yotogarazu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. A surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rell committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed?
Are you done with your inspection of the evidence?
Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties?
Oh, what? No! I dare not lick my duties! What do you take me for?
No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me.
But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene.
There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, defendant lobby number 2. Oh, right, this motherfucker. Wait, no! Hold on! You're the Interpol guy! The wolf dude who we meet in 7 years. That's Detective Bad. But who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. So, did you find it? Nah, not yet. And I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running the show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Don't worry. We'll kick his ass. We're gonna kick his ass later. I promise. Even if I have to do it myself. What was that all about? And who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? Yeah, he is holding up a mirror. It looks like you're paying attention after all. Anything contradict other games yet? Not yet. Except for the fact that we're currently in the process of Gumshoe might be arrested. But so far, not really a contradiction. Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. Ah, so that mirror isn't just for vanity's sake, but for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zhangfa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of the one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. She was extremely confused and laughing? Good. Isn't that just always kind of the goal of the day sometimes, is just to make people extremely confused but also laughing regardless, even though they don't know why? It's just one of life's great things. It's one of the great things we need to do. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding and what happened to this room straight from him. This is one tiny TV. Detective Gumshoe was rather shocked at this and said it was huge compared to his own. A matter of your... Aw? Kitty, now. Huh, anything you can compare with something Keon will always seem grandiose. Speaking of grandiose, I'd say that ego of yours could use a little deflating. Oh, don't worry, it will in about 6 years. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to your crime scene brings about success, as what we detectives say. I see.
In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct?
I don't have anything left to say to you, boy.
Boy! You'll see. I will draw my answer from you one way or another. I'm gonna kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our
I'm just a
investigation.
baby.
He's just a baby! Where did the audio come? Okay. You're not gonna have an answer to this, Fluffy, but I need to find the audio source for that and be like, what is that from? Because it's so... Wait, is that from Jeff's actual voice actor? That's so cute. That's so good. It's so good. Hold on. I think you mean how much people love Jeff. I love him. I will never hate Jeff. No one should ever say anything bad about Jeff. He's a good boy. Excuse me.
I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think?
Oh, the Jeff and Hulk video? That was so good. That's okay. Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation.
Don't push me, kid.
I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime.
I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about?
Things you don't know about. Aren't you supposed to know everything? He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Detective Bad, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph?
Of course I did. It's my job to know
I'm
everything.
just a baby.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much.
Of everything related to the Yatagarasu case.
In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same?
What? It's impossible.
It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key and prove that Mr. Rel was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct?
I guess so.
However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife.
Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this?
I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume this key is what you were searching for.
Yeah, that's right.
And why were you searching for it?
Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life?
Detective Bad, let me find the truth. Please testify for me once more.
Alright. But it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change.
Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1.
My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this.
That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case.
I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things.
I'm just a baby.
I'm just a baby. went on. But I'm just a baby. I'm just a... Yeah. It's not as good. It's not as cute. It's...
Right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2.
That sounds like the exact same story you told us before. Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. Okay.
Hold it!
I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu.
Trivial stuff. It was nothing important.
That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then.
Hold it!
Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1?
Answer me! Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all.
Those answer remains the same as before. I see.
Hold it!
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary?
I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. A battery to one terminal of the wires on your head. From these? Good question. Let me think. I don't know if it would conduct properly. Hard to say, though. There's a lot of casing, there's a lot of electromagnetism going on. If I hold it properly, I think I can just get it to light up. Something needed attached to my head. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now.
Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba, did you hear this?
Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding.
Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon?
Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her.
Well, as you may have already surmised, this piece did come from Kay's balloon.
So, what about the balloon?
I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point.
What are you getting at?
This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot.
Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh?
On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well.
So?
Don't give me a so! I just proved that there's a flaw in your testimony.
The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking.
Days Without Futurama reference, Maya. Days Without Futurama reference.
And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever just stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked.
What is that supposed to mean?
The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material.
What do you mean?
Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound.
No. I knew that's what he was going to say. That means that Scruffface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course you wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle.
Ugh. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids?
Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the one finding flaws in his logic.
The other way around. The other way around. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot?
What do you mean, how? I just did.
It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words.
Oh? How so?
If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears?
I see what you mean. I get some more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought.
Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? Bye, Maya. I hope work's going well for you. We'll see you later. Food good, Fluffy. Food is very good. Food is good when you can taste it, but also it's good for you, regardless of whether you can taste it or not. It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detective Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically shouldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? The state of the crime scene? Oh wait, can it be? The window was open. Lobby number 2's television was set to an incredibly high... No. It can't be... Well, it could be that simple. Here's the thing. We've seen this... It could very well be that simple. It could easily be that simple. That the quote-unquote gunshot they heard came from the TV. Long after the other two were dead. Surveillance. Yup, the surveillance video. I knew it. I knew it. They played the surveillance video on the TV for the sound of the gunshot because of how clear it is. Haha! What do you mean no? Fuck. Lobby number 2 window. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows, and yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Thank you. Of course! Incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. Now then, what else besides the smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound! So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the windows in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. In other words, yep. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess, and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence of the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think, for I figured out where we should look. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the television.
The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like.
I bet he thinks I just want to watch Saturday morning cartoons. And the answer is yes, I do, but we'll do that later.
It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verify the contents of this video?
Sure. Knock yourself out, kid.
Alright, then let's rewind and see what we have.
If I remember correctly, the footage of Ralph killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape.
Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Rel shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along.
The sound. What's the meaning of this?
It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you've figured it all out then? Yes, all I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine, in that case, show me what you've deduced. What's the gunshot detectives what the gunshot they heard, and through where they heard it from? They heard it. They heard this thing. Yes. Da-da-da-da-da. If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely the room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the wiser. That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. They heard a gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1, 2, and the hallway were open, so naturally the people in these locations could hear it. Ah, but then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. The killer wanted to manipulate our perception of when, the time, the when, the time. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running.
You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video?
Yes, which means that the murder really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance, you, Detective Yu. Because she also spilled the perfume. Oh no, we spilled it. How terrible. I guess we have to open this window. Open this window to let the smell go out. I guess we don't have a choice. But let the smell leave through the window. That person is the real killer. Okay, it is you. She's... Unfortunately, we're now at the point where it has to be her. Unfortunate. Miss Redworth! Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She said that she'd identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her I'll be right over.
Oh, come along. I want to hear what she has to say.
It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. You did in fact call it. You did say you earlier. And I wasn't sure. I was not fully convinced just yet. And even still, even now, something about it still doesn't feel right. But here's the thing. You also called it. Here's the thing. I think I'm going to call this right now. She didn't do it she didn't necessarily want to do it. For whatever reason, she had no choice because of this motherfucker. This guy here, who talked to her before those people died. He showed up, talked to her, and then she probably went in and killed them. The reason for that is this bitch right here probably did something to her. He probably has some sort of blackmail. Okay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for has already...
Gay, don't mind him. Please, continue with your investigation.
Okay, you got it. Detective Bad, haven't we already found what you were looking for?
If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do.
Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Wow, we're actually in a courtroom situation. On the prosecutor's side. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth.
I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest.
The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already, don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we have a viewer in the gallery. And, why, even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander.
I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out.
Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lawsuit number 2. And therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion and this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. At a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? How absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is to prove it by showing who the real killer is. I've proven everyone's movement during the recess except for my own. Don't think about that. Don't worry about that. Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there's no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve. It is funny that I feel more like a defense attorney than a prosecutor in this situation, and she feels more like a prosecutor than a defense attorney in this situation. Why do defense attorneys always wear blue?
Eddie's a baby.
He's just a baby. The suspect. Oh, the Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier. The detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that's correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well. Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump cards she's withholding. We're just gonna press everything until we get something good. Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. Oh, the scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhausted, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe is standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window into the garden? Oh, that's the first place everyone looks silly. Police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. Are you sure? They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad?
Yeah, there wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden.
I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape? Didn't we just... And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Miles Edgeworth.
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? I mean, you're the only one still wondering that. As I think Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there are witnesses. For you, there's your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. It was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She even quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor. By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? Doesn't matter when the killer went to lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? Well, that gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when... Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have... We're getting to that! Hold on! That tape. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. And this is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell the prosecution presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. Oh, but I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. The sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago, but she doesn't need to know that part. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we shouldn't have been able to hear it. And yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it. And I love that that happened exactly to us earlier. Straight up, Bad did this to us, now we're doing it to you, and I feel good about that. Oh, but it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear the gunshot from the soundproof room? Well, there is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened by you.
Objection!
It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? That says that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... Callisto Yu. That's right, you. You. Me? That's right, you. Wait, hold on. Are you saying you as in
The person you're talking to or you as in my name doesn't matter. They're both you. Fair enough. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, monsieur, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument was not be tight enough yet. Although, I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. So I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? You argue that the window was opened. However, do you have proof that it was I who did that? Yes, we do. Because Bad told us. Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full as holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Should I just start with the perfume? You know what? We have plenty of health. We're at full health. This is fine. Immediately. The very first words out of your mouth. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Monsieur? Edgeworth. I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. This isn't mine. Well, that's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Badge, you see. Monsieur, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. And that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? Well, you were in lobby number 1. You made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also know that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you, that's all just a big coincidence. After he opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window. The timing of when you are going to spill the perfume is something you can control, and the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Monsieur, you were the one who controlled Detective Bad into lobby number 1, when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought of by you, Miss You. You accuse me of murder and the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, let me say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. I never trust anyone in Ace Attorney when they say this is your last chance or this is the last testimony or blah blah blah, because it never is. It's like, if you don't get it right this time, well, we got it right. Oh. Well, if you don't get it right this time, but what if we did? Oh. Well, what if you don't get it right these next 5 times? Done, 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 and done. Oh, well, okay. I guess this is the real one. Legitimately, this is the real last chance that you have. Okay, I'm being super double serious about this. This is your last chance. Bring it home, as they say. Done. Oh. Okay, cool. I was right. You know what? Apparently I was right that time. I legitimately thought I was going to fake myself out. I don't know how. Look, we have to build the tension somewhere, somehow. Even if that means constantly saying this is your last chance. Accusing someone of murder over spilled butter perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. Hey, hold on. We're not going to learn about that for 5 more years. In any case, it certainly could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. The rating says we have to keep the homoerotic sexual tension at a minimum. I I don't know. I don't know. Ace Attorney has shown it definitely has some ways to kind of loophole around that.
And if I'm lacking information, I'll just draw it out of her.
Someone stop me before I go and write my own goddamn Ace Attorney-esque game. And try to do things that I think would be better, but... No, what do you mean no? Well, shit, okay, I guess I need to get writing. Yeah, I know you already did it, Kayla. But I'm thinking more like... How do I explain this? Because something that I would love to see is... like, I'm fine with the point-and-click adventure. And I'm fine with the logic puzzles and all that, but I feel like there's got to be a better... Well, actually, there is a better Ace Attorney. It's called Danganronpa. I guess I didn't really think about that. The DLC? The DLC? The DLC where we get to see Human Jill and their life together? Okay, I'll have to check that out later. Link that later. If you haven't and also if you've posted that on like social media or anything, do that. Do that. Blech. Sorry, my nose is still... It's on your Twitch? Ah. I'm just gonna keep pressing her to... I think I already explained the significance of that earlier. You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume, but that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Considering that it's not public... And it's literally just like the four of us in this room, I don't think that would actually work. Like, if I fucking went out somewhere, and I went like to the papers or the internet, and I started shouting it to the rooftops, then you could sue me, but... Do as you like. But as for me, I believe that you are the true culprit in this case. You're enthusiastic. Of course I should have guessed. Forgery of evidence to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, or will sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing?
Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you.
Oh, why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue?
Hold it!
And why exactly could you not have killed him? I was just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. You do indeed, Fluffy. You do indeed have that power. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth. Wait, hold on. Is this a lewd joke that she's making? Is she making a lewd? Is she saying a lewd thing? Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand. A little uncomfortable, are we?
Objection!
Miss Yu, you will desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy. Sorry. Miss Yu, please continue with your testimony. Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the...
Hold it!
At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing.
I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Atagarassu had sent. And unless the key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It does worry me. It does indeed. At a certain point, though, I kind of just have to stop being like, you know what? And it's one of those things where it's like, it worries me because of how little money I have. But then it's just like, I'm just going to trust that you're fine. And just move on with my life and not stress over it. I was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might have pinned what you just said to your testimony. Sure. Oh, why not? I would say it as many times as you'd like.
Objection!
Anyways, back to revealing the truth of this case. Miss Yu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. Oh, this is a picture of the key the Yotogarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has a secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yotogarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Seriously? Dang. Yes. Well, with the Yotogarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yotogarasu's key... I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. You would, even now, still feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything. But we can't be accusing me of a crime with false evidence, now can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. I'm going to do that 5 years from now with the help of my future husband. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Atagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Wait. Furthermore, there's something that the Yotogarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning to a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms. What you are saying is simply not possible. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. Well, within these pages, he mentions nothing about the knife.
Objection!
I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication? Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. Oh, it would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have had much of a reason to. Looks like I have a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth, the secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife?
Take that!
There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. And that is to say, the Yatagarasu himself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? I'm gonna sneeze again. Excuse me, I'm going crazy tonight. Miss Yu, you used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this? Oh, the music stopped. I think that means something bad happened. Oh, her hair changed. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill is even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me, Callisto Yu! Callisto Yu, huh? Oh, that's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of bringing the Yatagarasu in court. Once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. Had Rel caves only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say that you despise criminals? But do I really? You! Have you forgotten about the KG-8 incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him, which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday, and in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside the plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take a note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. That's why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. Wait, okay. In the future, Kay Faraday, whose father was apparently killed by Yatagarasu, her, has taken on the title of the second Yatagarasu.
but it has been very clear that the one thing a thief never steals is a life. Which means, I wonder if Kay even knows that Yu was the first Yatagarasu, or if she thinks her dad really was, or something else.
You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client?
Client? If you want to talk about who was a client of who's first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Catopian embassy staff member, Dead Man. Wait. Dead Man's the one who was killed by Rel. Okay. You were the client in the murder? What? She hired that.
You ordered a hit job?
You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination?
Can't be. You're...
That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring.
What? How could this... You don't mean... You're working with Manny Cochin too, do you?
Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. Everything. They smuggle everything. Anything to make money. Like large art pieces from the second investigation. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer.
Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu, you can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court.
Hey, Edgeworth, did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Ooh. Pistol. Huh. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it.
You mean, the key was your real target?
And you, after I gave you such a great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence.
You two, get down!
Francisca!
My body, I can't move!
Hey, mister! To your right!
You!
So does that mean that she was never the sister? Cece, you never had a sister?
Are you alright, Francisca?
I'm perfectly fine, Miles. I'm perfectly fine, Miles.
Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kate go? It's a gunshot!
Uh-oh. Bad things are happening. September 10th, 7 p.m. District Court. Courtroom number 3. Alright, what happened?
Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay, just got another hole in my jacket.
They say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken.
But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt?
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and... Hey, Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir! Detective Bad, sir!
I'm sorry I doubted you.
Don't worry, sir! It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all.
I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay?
You got it, Pops!
Pops? Watched too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment.
I should get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you with the last thing I do.
Why are you going after me? No, you! Yes, I know, you're looking at me and you're saying you're gonna come after me.
No, you, detective, attorney you, the Callisto. Yatagarasu.
Oh, right. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care.
Thanks. Well, I'm off. And we'll run into each other again someday in about 7 years.
Thanks a bunch, pal! You're the best! You really did find out the truth behind everything!
Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
It was no problem, really! I lied too, so I didn't help anything.
The Yatagarasu.
It's really not your fault, Your Honor!
Well, even if we didn't have his honest testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf.
Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective.
Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. I came left a present for you with me.
She did? Oh, what is it?
What was it that Kay left me? The proof of their friendship.
Take that!
It's a courthouse special Swiss roll! Can I really have it?
Yes, it's a present meant for you, after all.
Thanks a bunch! You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I haven't had a real good sweet in a while. I'm gonna eat this right now.
Sure, go ahead. Just don't spill it this time. The Swiss roll Detective Gumshoe and Kay brought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father, it would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy, it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him.
Whoop! That was good, pal! I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day! It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something! Gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she?
He only noticed just now. Was his mind not present when he discussed her earlier? I Detective Bad to go search for her earlier. Maybe she should go join him.
Yeah, you betcha, pal! I'm gonna go help him! Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
I sense something about a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective.
Roger, sir! And don't you worry, I'll investigate the next case we're on real well!
I'll be counting on you. A sense of trouble is definitely in the air. Alas, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now...
So, do you remember now?
Yes. I remember everything. I'm sorry that it took me multiple weeks to remember our entire history of what happened when we first met 7 years ago. Kay, it's been a while.
Hey, you sure grew up a lot!
Of course! Oh, thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time?
Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much.
Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're all right.
So does it all make sense now?
You betcha it does! Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently and...
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay.
Huh?
First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the one who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure.
But it's impossible!
What's with that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright then, how do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing.
Yep, and that's the little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow! Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he was a really great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed. And the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you? Wait, maybe it was you. Not you as in UK, but you as in Callisto Yu.
Here, Mr. Edgeworth, take a look at this article.
The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card.
Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady's behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out.
But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
So you're saying that I have your father's and Miss Yu's identities backwards?
Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace.
Kay.
Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks, I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal.
Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit.
Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman?
You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh? Owe me for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. And furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I'm not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
And then you mean...
Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you! Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy.
Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with the chummy relationship? The great thief, Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Byrne Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay.
Really? 1 day later? That's all it takes? Is another one more day? It's like, don't worry, we'll solve the 7-year-old mystery that's actually technically, I guess, more like 10 years old. It's like, cool, let's go. Take a nap, wake up, we solved the case. What? We solved it. What do you mean you solved it? I solved it. I said I was going to solve it for you, so I did. Okay. Before we start the final episode, I want to ask a question. Because Next Thursday, I will not be streaming because I have surgery. And I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be all. So I'm not going to want to. I'm not gonna stream next week. So should we wait and hold on to starting episode 5 until the next time we come back, so we just have a nice clean start? What do y'all think? Hopefully, I won't be going as much next time we play this game. That sounds advisable and good so that we don't forget anything. Cool. Okay, in that case, do I want to take a rest? I kind of want to rest. It's been a hell of a week already. That also means that we might not stream. I don't know when. Our last stream is probably going to be on Tuesday, either Sunday or Tuesday. One of those 2 days, whenever I feel like it. It's been a hell of a year already. And then someone goes, "It's not even March yet." I'm like, I know what day it is. I'm well aware. It's been a time. It's been. Oh God, has it been. But okay. Turnabout Ablaze next. Am I forgetting anything else? We're still going to stream Atelier this Saturday. We're going to stream Hat in Time either on Sunday or Tuesday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Probably Tuesday. The only reason I didn't do it this past Tuesday is because I was busy. But that's it for now. And thus, we're done with Ace Attorney for the rest of this month. We should hopefully return to it. Well, maybe. It depends on whether or not how I feel on the 27th in 2 weeks. We'll see. But that's all. We're going to go ahead and call it there. I was thinking about maybe I could switch over to something else, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm tired. I am tired. So let's take a look, see if anyone's on. Let's go. Let's go raid Callista. Why not? You had 3 hours of sleep last night? Jesus Christ. Go get some rest. Sleep. And good night. And thank you all for joining me. Make sure to get water and food and all that good stuff. I'm going to do that too, because I'm kind of hungry and thirsty. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, hold on. I'm almost done with my tea. It's basically done. But I'm going to send y'all out. Y'all have a great rest of your night. I'll see y'all again in a couple days. Am I spelling this correctly? Correct, I am. Alright, I'll see y'all later. Bye!